Hello, my friend. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Panic Playdate? If you've spoken to me for more than half an hour, you probably know that I adore the Playdate and consider it one of the most interesting and most fun game consoles of the past decade at least. And now, as of recording this video, we are 1 week away from the release of Season 2. And I'm so excited because I have seen Playdate games evolve so much in terms of substance, style, sense of humor, the utilization of the art and graphics, and with the newest Playdate update, there is now networking possibilities, which is very exciting for devs. I'm your cool Uncle Marissa, and I thought this would be the perfect time to share with you some of my favorite games on the Playdate that are not part of Season 1. So these are games that you can either buy from the catalog, or you can buy or even get for free from itch.io. Now this is a consolidated version of a video I did for my Ko-fi members, which is every single game on my Playdate. So if you would like to watch that instead, or as a supplement to this video, check out my Ko-fi and become a Nerdfew Advance. But there is not much to say other than let's go ahead and dive in and see some of these games. This one is funny. This one's a Play Jam game too. Honest Rod's Rollback Rally. I think I had this in my... But you want to roll back the thing on your these used cars to try to sell them for a better price, but you don't want to break it. So see, you broke it. That's not good. So then you sell it, and it's still, the price still went up, but you don't get as high a price as you would if you hadn't. The audio cues can help you, which I don't currently have them. I feel like, you know, that's fine. Look at that. We sold it for 12,000 low mileage. I think this is kind of fun just because my first experience with this kind of thing was in Matilda, watching that and reading the book as a kid, and it just was such a bizarre thing to me, and it still is, and it's such a satisfying way to use the crank, using the crank for crime. Crank for crime. It's a great motto. I don't know what we do it for, but... And yeah, and you just try to get a high score on this too. There's something about this that's like very calming, you know? Like, it's got the kind of cookie clicker vibes where it's like brain know how to work very much, but brain can still see numbers go up and down. Whoa, Go Noodle is a snake clone. There's a handful of snake clones on this, but there's something very charming about this. You use the crank, and it actually feels pretty nice. I have to say the different snake clones on the Playdate have varying degrees of success to how smooth the crank feels. And this feels very nice. The snake moves very freely. It's very cute. I love like that there's coffee and there's bananas and it's just very fun. I think that if you are looking to play Snake on your Playdate, there are so many options, but this one I have to say is my favorite. Orbeats I'm really excited for. It's like one of the few, like there's a few rhythm games that are coming to Playdate. I don't think that as of now there's anything that's out that is a pure rhythm game. There's games with rhythm elements, but you know it's sparse because people will recommend Cappy Spa as a rhythm game, and I'm like, that's not a rhythm game. It has one rhythm mini game, which is really hard, but I wouldn't say it's a rhythm game. No music games, you know? But Orbeats is coming out, and it is certainly a pure music game. and I'm very excited for it. So if we look at the tutorial, I think that's going to be better than anything. I prefer to use the D-pad on this for up and down as opposed to B and A because it just makes more sense to me. But yeah. Also, the flip note of this game is interesting just because once you flip it, yeah, your cursor is flipped too. So it's a little disorienting. It adds another layer of challenge. I love talking about rhythm games because it's like as if I'm good at them. But no, they are the most they're the most perfect example of games that I like and am absolutely terrible at. But yeah, I think you get the picture on this. I don't. Like, just imagine messing up even the tutorial. But it is really cool. It has a really complex gameplay system. Like, it was really well thought out because they could have just done like, oh, you just hit them as they come. But the addition of the flip notes and everything is really cool. I definitely recommend you check this one out. This one is one of my favorites. Moving on, here we have a falling block game. This one, I believe, is hosted on GitHub because the people who own the naming rights to the falling block game decided in partnering with an arms dealer for his very tacky looking Game Boy clone that they would issue takedowns to every other falling block game as though it hasn't been around forever, and as though you can bring in the idea of integrity when selling out to an arms dealer. So yeah, so this is on GitHub, and I have tried some other Playdate clones. There's one called like Rain Blocks or something, but this one I would say is the best. It feels the truest to the most popular versions of the official falling block game. I don't think there's any problem with me actually saying Tetris. I just think it's funny. So please laugh. You also have different themes you can choose, which this one is incredibly indistinct. Oops, from the falling block game. This one is quite minimal. Quack Magic, this one I kind of specifically, this one and the one after it, I specifically kept on here to share with you guys because I've completed both of them, because they're both disastrously short. Quack Magic, I really hope they make a full game because it is so beautiful and so good. So it's, if you've ever played Monument Valley, it's a bit like that. Using perspective shifts, you move around the world and you save the ducks. There you go. The duck has been saved. And it gets increasingly more difficult as you go. And yeah, I definitely recommend picking this up. This one is free on itch.io. And I don't want to spoil it because, again, there's like so few levels. And I really, really hope that the creators will make a larger game based on it because it's so clever. It's so cute. I love it. And similarly, with with this one, it has 3 different endings, and I won't play through completely because, again, I don't want to spoil it for you. You have Duck Radio, which is just absolutely so funny and clever. That's another thing with like the Playdate. I just feel like Playdate game devs have such a good sense of humor that lines up with mine. And it makes it a joy to play their games. But, alright, so with this game, essentially, you're this adorable 2D, 3D duck, and you are going to the end of the pond. And you can collect other ducks to come with you, or you can try to ignore them. You can bother the humans, but essentially the number of ducks that you collect by the time you get to the end of the screen is what affects the ending that you get. But I don't want to spoil any of the endings for you, and yeah, let's move on because this one definitely pick it up. Core Fault. I love Core Fault. Core Fault is a Vampire Survivors, like I say, as someone who's never played Vampire Survivors. But you play a little robot and you're mining. And you have to defeat all these enemies while you mine, and then the stuff you mine, you can use it for upgrades. And so obviously you get to more levels the more you go. And it's by Squid God and Dave Makes, both very cool people. And Squid God, actually, if you are a developer, he has a YouTube channel and he talks a lot about like the game dev process. But yeah, all you do is basically use the crank to walk around, to dodge, to attack. And you want to attack the enemies, but that's not the main point. The main point is to mine as well. I don't know why I said that. The main point is both of them. So you want to attack the enemies, but you also want to try to attack these big little, what look like anthill mountain thingies, because from these you can gather material to upgrade. But it's like surprisingly fluid, you know. It seemed like this kind of control might not work, but it works very well. And you can stay as long as you want, but you only have about 10 minutes to do a playthrough. So you can dig and you can go further. And obviously the further you get, the better the rewards that you reap. And you can upgrade between levels, which, as I understand, you can do in Vampire Survivors. So yeah, I mean, I've heard Vampire Survivors is very addictive, and so is this. And so I really do appreciate that there is a time limit of 10 minutes, because it keeps you not too long in the game. So it's definitely a good short burst game when you know you've got some time to spare, but you don't really want to dig into something. The visual language is also really good. I really love the little character you play as. I love cute little robots. They mean so much to me. But the enemies also have a very clear visual language, and I think Squid God talks a bit in his video about the making of this game, about these design choices. But yeah, this one, I always recommend it. It always just comes up in my head. Poor Fault is just so fleshed out in all of its aspects. Someone asks for a recommendation, I'm always like, Core Fault. A Balanced Brew. A Balanced Brew is another crank-heavy game with a purpose, and I'm gonna level select so that we don't make fun of me too much. But basically you're this fellow from San Francisco, I imagine. I mean, look at him. And you have to ride your unicycle to get yourself a coffee every morning. And the terrain is different in each level, of course. And you don't want to fall off your unicycle. And so you are graded on time and on balance. No, actually, you're just graded on balance, and I think the chart's pretty cool. But it's one of those that, like, I think with all crank-based games, you sort of have to get into it, and once you do, it is really, really satisfying. And there is a season 1 game that involves crank and timing as well. And I remember not really liking it initially, but then I got the hang of it, and once I got the hang of it, I got really far in very few sittings, because it's just once you get there, once you got it, you know? And there's something very satisfying about that. Would you do this for coffee? Sound off in the comments. Soko. Soko is a puzzle game. You can pick your character. I like mono because it's just the Playdate clone. Let's do there's a lot of levels, as you can see, and you can actually build your own levels as well, if that's something you like to do. But if we go to the first levels, so it's one of these pushing puzzles. I really like pushing puzzles, all the way back from when I had a car park pushing puzzle on my TI-84 calculator. I'm so glad that teachers had us buy those, because I think I probably played more games on my TI-84 than anything else. But yeah, and then you just put everything in the place they're supposed to go. It's simple as that, and of course it does get more challenging as you go. Another thing I like about these games is that while you do get penalized in terms of score by moving too much, you can still do it. Also, it lets you take back your moves, which is really wonderful. I really appreciate these kind of like quality of life things in games, because it's really not that deep, right? It's just a game. Like, it's not going to kill anyone to make it a little bit more accessible and a little bit less frustrating. So I do recommend Soko if you are into these kinds of puzzles. Reelistic fishing. Realistic fishing is one that took me a second to get into. So everyone on the Playdate Discord was really excited for realistic fishing. And so by proxy, I was excited about it because, you know, if all your friends jump off a cliff into an ocean full of funny looking fish, would you? Yes. But then it took me a second because, like, I was... All right, let me just show you. When you start the game, please excuse my totally decked out boat and all my money. That's not how you start. But you get started here, right? And you're like, okay, you can... the bird landed on me. And you can press A to fish, but like you can't move or anything, and there's no tutorial. Maybe there is a tutorial now. Maybe it's been updated. But basically what you do is you press B and you find somewhere on the map that you want to go. And one place you can go is the shop. And I'm not going to go to the shop because there will be spoilers since I've finished the game. But let's say we want to go there. And then we press B and then we can move. And we crank to move. And then we just say goodbye, or we don't want you anymore. And then we can fish. And with the fishing, we can use the D-pad to move, like left and right, and we use the crank to pull up. So we can go up faster or slower. And you can get, you know, different kinds of upgrades as well for your fishing rod and for your cannon. When you start, a thing is that you have to upgrade to be able to catch more fish in one go, otherwise your fishing line will break. So it's good to, like, you know, try to focus on fish that you haven't caught yet to build your, like, encyclopedia, or to catch high value fish because you are a high value fisher person. And it doesn't end there because, like, let's just go up because this is very deep. Yes, the more you upgrade your fishing line, the deeper you can go into the ocean. But from here, you have a harpoon, and you have to harpoon the fish that you caught. And getting multiple in one go is better for your score. It gives you a score multiplier. But it's very silly. The mechanic is based on another game that I haven't played. Sometimes I think it's funny because, like, there's all these Playdate games that are based on the core mechanics of other games, and I'm just like, I've played the Playdate game, but I haven't played the actual game. But yeah, there you go, and then you get your report. And it might seem like just a simple fishing game, but in fact there is a story to it. A very, very funny story and very delightful story. So if you are someone who wants to play something that is both arcadey and has a story, then definitely do this one. It's a little deceiving when you start because you're kind of in the middle of sea with no real direction. But trust me, you get it, and it is worth the hype. Mars After Midnight is one you've probably heard of. You've probably heard it was made by Lucas Pope, who made the Obra Dinn game and Papers, Please. Both games that I haven't played yet. But it is really good. You are basically this alien who works at a community center, and the community center has various programs for aliens, and each night you have a different program. So today's program is like for sad Cyclops. So you get the knocking, you open. Okay, so this guy is not a Cyclops. So you close it. He can't come in. And you can look up and down too, to double check. But yeah, this guy's not a Cyclops either. Not a Cyclops. No. And I think the controls scheme in this is also really interesting, like really well done. Oh, he's sad and he's a Cyclops. So we can press A to let him in. So he'll come in and he's gonna eat, and he made such a mess. You can see how your things are supposed to be. So, but we can go ahead and clean things first. So we can pick this up with this second hand. And then we just do the super sweeper. And then we can put this down. So, oh, the plates go here. There we go. The sign goes here. The scoop goes there. I'm going to put that there. And then it's all clean. And we can go answer the door. Oh, you're not a Cyclops. You're a Cyclops and you're sad. And yeah, so you basically continue this. You get a tip based on, look at that. See, so polite. Why can't more people be like that? You get a tip based on all that. And then at the end of the day, you can see like, yeah, you seem pretty upset. You can see what you made. And you also, this food you put out is based on like the preferences of the like demographic that is going to attend, which you can see on a map. But yeah, it's really good. While it went on longer than I expected, it still managed to not be long enough, which I think is, you know, the hallmark of a good game. So, you know, it's not overrated, this one. Just because you've heard about it, if you have, it doesn't mean that it's been hyped just because it's this guy. It's actually a lot of fun. I would put it under, yeah, like a management sim kind of game. And it does have a story as well. And very, very enjoyable. And we end the day. This is the map I was talking about, so you can see how many people still need help. And yeah, you can basically pick all the different stuff for tomorrow's session. But definitely a fantastic one. Next up we have Generations. I really like Generations. Generations is another matchy-matchy puzzle game. And we are in the middle of a session. This one's really addictive for me too. Basically, you match the different ages together, and you can generally tell them by the background if you can't tell them by like the similar face. And they need to be adjacent to each other. They can't be diagonal. And then they age up. And when they age up, you have the next level. And so it is a merge game, but it all happens like on a board. So we're going to pick this one and we're going to put it here, and they all merge to the side that the most recently placed one was. So this was a bad move because ideally we would have wanted it to be able to merge with this baby. So for example, here we go. I'm gonna put the last one here. So then when they merge, the babies are next to each other. And you get scores on this based on obviously how far you go before you are out of merges, but also based on how many portraits you merge at once. Because while 3 is the minimum, you can do more. But yeah, I won't spend too much more time on this. I think it's pretty straightforward. I really like it. Yeah, oh yeah, and you can get like little add-ons sometimes, like bonuses, not add-ons, and they'll do things like age up a character if you are in need of it. You will also often rather have like a extra here that you can pick in order to save yourself if necessary. But they appear on occasion. And that's your next up. What the Crow is a really good one. It's really, really cute, and it's a very funny premise. The art style is fantastic. So there's 2 levels, and I still haven't gotten past the first level because I got pretty far, and then I didn't realize, and I was like, I did it. I broke everything, because that's the point. You're supposed to break everything. Oh God, she's right there. You're supposed to break everything without getting caught. And I was like, I did it. I finally broke everything. Yeah, see, you get boxed if she sees you. You can run away from the box, but like you should have basically almost all the feathers before you can actually outrun the box. So it's best to like try to stay hidden and like not break things you can hide behind before. So we're hiding behind the trash can right now, so she's not going to be able to see us. And you can see up here whether you're really hidden or not. But yeah, I didn't realize there was an upstairs. So I actually had to sit down and play this again and try to unlock the next level. It is actually like surprisingly challenging. But it's really fun. It's really charming. I love the art style so much. Like, they did such a good job of making it legible and also cute. They did a really good job using like largely blacks and whites with some grayscales. But that sounds like any Playdate game, but like, you know what I mean? Like the contrast, but like the contrast was used very artfully. Pullfrog. So if you know, I don't know, if you know, this is from Pico 8. The creator originally made it for Pico 8. And Pullfrog is really fun. It is a bit of a kind of gotcha in that you think that it is a Tetris clone, but it's actually not. So you play this little frog and you use your tongue to catch blocks and pull them down if you want. And the length of your tongue and stuff are things that you can manage. And you can jump. And you can also use your tongue to break blocks to be able to fit things in better. And it's okay to break blocks of any kind, really, but you want to try to keep the eyes. You want to try not to destroy the eyes. And the mistake I think I made when I first started playing this game is I was trying to do too much. But you don't have to, like, it's not Tetris. You have to remember it's not Tetris. And yeah, I like the style. It's really cute. The biggest thing to be aware of is you can game over yourself, because it's very easy if you are thinking of it as Tetris, especially, to accidentally crash yourself, like to pull something onto yourself and then you die. And this gets even worse when you start getting special blocks that have like spikes on them and stuff. And it can also be hard when you need to jump. So let's just do that to get a line. There we go, we got a line. And once we get a significant number of lines, we can go to the next level, and also we can eventually go to shop, depending on the number of eyes we get. And you get the eyes by getting them to go away, getting them Tetrised. But yeah, it's easy to forget that you can destroy blocks, and destroying blocks will actually help you. With these ones, these are glass, so if you hit them, they go away forever. So those get a little challenging when they have eyes in them, because it's like, oh, I just wanted to move it, maybe, and you can move them while they're floating, but it takes some fancy footwork. But yeah, like if you want to make it smaller and it's glass and it has an eye in part of it, it's like a bit of a bummer, because you end up breaking the whole thing. But yeah, I'm not doing a very good job of playing it right now, but it is quite addicting. Root Bear I actually was one of my first ones, because there is a free version as well on itch.io, but I ended up buying the full version fairly recently. And if you have seen any Playdate content, you probably have seen Root Bear. You work at a bar and you serve root beer to bears, and they're very picky about how much they want. So this guy, like, and you can get perfect pour, you can get a bad pour, weak pour, and it affects your tips, and you only have a minute. So you really have to balance like speed and quantity, because I initially was like, okay, well, I can take my time and do perfect pours for everyone, but then you're not doing that many, and so you're not getting tips. But yeah, it's very addictive. I love the art style. The sound direction is so funny. And it is another very, very good use of the crank. But yeah, they also add like endless and flawless modes to the full version. Spilled Mushrooms. Spilled Mushrooms is one I've played probably the most of my newest pickup, which isn't saying a lot. I haven't played a ton, but it is a card game. You have spilled your mushrooms in various locations, and you need to collect, like, pick these cards and play them on the various locations to help collect your mushrooms. I'm always scared of these card games because I'm always scared that they're going to be really confusing and complex and too much for my little brain to handle. But it's actually pretty straightforward. The tutorial is great, and you don't have to memorize anything either in terms of card effects. So Gorilla doubles any effect that change this critter's basket. So one basket becomes 2 baskets. Okay. And then we have Boar. When rejected, the critter gets -1 basket. And so the basket is how many mushrooms they can pick up per turn, while the little time is how many days they will last. And so then we have the different places. Only critters with 2 baskets or fewer can gather mushrooms on the rainforest. Prairie, flying critters will be blown away. And abundant, when a critter enters, it gives it +1 basket. So since the brute doubles its effects, we can play the brute on abundant. And there we go. Now it can collect 4 per day. Then we have oh, you have a log. I didn't know you have a log. I never looked at the log before. That's so funny. Okay, so only critters with 2 or few can gather here. So let's go ahead and play the raccoon on the rainforest. I'm not going to say I'm good at this game. I'm not good. I can't say that, but I do enjoy it. And if you don't collect all of your mushrooms, you basically replay the day. The weasel, you usually, it tells you in the tutorial, you kind of always want to reject him, because when he is rejected, he adds a basket to his number. Grizzly gives -1 to other critters in the area, and he has 3. Let's put him in the prairie. Wait, actually, raccoon ignores the lowering effect, so let's put Grizzly in the rainforest. And see, there, he just went up 4. Okay. Elephant gives +1 day to other critters. Platypus inverts any effects that change this critter's stats. Okay, we don't have any negative stats, so it's probably better to use the elephant. plus 1 day. We don't have anyone anywhere else. Okay, let's just give it to Grizzly. Okay. When rejected, gives -1. Minus 2 days. I don't think we're gonna make it, guys. For 1 day. Okay, we can put the weasel in the rainforest. Ah, it's our last day. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do this. Yeah. But yeah, that's the fun of it, right, is retrying. You can crank to unlock hints after you failed, I think once or twice, but I would like to keep trying, especially because, like, I wasn't playing for real this time. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good card game. And there you have it. Those are currently my favorite games for the Playdate. And a part of me was like, well, maybe I should wait until I play every single game that's on my wish list. But I feel like at the rate of wonderful games coming out, that's gonna be a while. There's a handful of games that I'm following their development on the Playdate Discord that I'm super excited about, and I know that at least one of them is going to be a fast favorite. And so I think that if this is a kind of interesting video for you, I will hopefully be making more in the future, because it's something that I feel like, you know, not a ton of people are doing and deserves a lot more eyes on it. Are there any games in this video that you have played and also adore? Are there any games that I didn't mention that you think that I would enjoy? Because they might be on my wish list already, but tell me anyway, just in case they aren't. They surely deserve a place there and eventually on my Playdate. A huge thank you to my Ko-fi supporters for making these videos possible. Your support keeps me going. It is consistent, it is encouraging, and your names are scrolling by right now. Again, if you want to see the full video of every single game that's on my Playdate, where I review kind of similarly every game that's on my Playdate, you can join my Ko-fi. It's the $2 tier, and access to all of my game reviews as well as that one. All that being said, I've been your Cool Uncle Marissa, and do not forget that you are always welcome at Cool Uncle's house, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.